Welcome to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks, where we offer our side of the issues. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show. You can also listen to us on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please rate, like, review, subscribe, and share. And if no one else has told you today, we love you. Now let's get into the show. So last week we spent a decent amount of time discussing the baby, the certified side bitch. Mm-hmm. And I also discussed this topic a bit with a millennial. And I find the millennial dating patterns to be somewhat bizarre to me. And I do believe that the baby and his third baby mama, they are millennials.
I think so, yeah.
And
late 20s, early 30s, something like that.
Yeah. I think that it's not as socially acceptable to publicly say that you find how they interact with each other to be batshit crazy. But I do find some millennial dating pattern crazy. I find that some of their dating is toxic with how they interact with each other. And so, for example, I discussed the baby situation with a millennial. So some of the parts of it that I found bizarre and toxic, she did not.
Like what?
Like Danieleigh's reaction.
What?
Yes.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, what? What part? Because
so, for example, she felt that more of the responsibility of Danieleigh's behavior, she put on the baby instead of Danileigh. Like there was not as much personal responsibility of responsibility of her taking responsibility. Yeah, I used the word 3 times for her own behavior. It was more so put on the dude, like, well, he shouldn't have been, having sex with her. Kind of similar to the argument that Danileigh, to a degree, was making herself,
which was
what? You keep coming in me,
and
you keep taking me out. You the one that we went out and stuff, and you introduced me to your family. So this millennial that I was discussing this with, and it sort of turned into a more intense conversation than I anticipated, because her perspective was so bizarre to me. And I tried to not share my views with millennials. Mm-hmm. Because it is taboo. It's none of my fucking business. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be the old chick like, you young kid.
But I'm curious. I'm curious though.
What us looking at Danileigh and it being obvious things that are like, hold the fuck up. Another millennial looking at it didn't see it that way.
But see, to me, that's youth. They have millennial sense, right? But I think if they get, I
don't remember you being, not to say to use you as the only example. I'm only saying that because you're in front of me. I don't remember. I will put money on it that you at that same age
couldn't have been me.
It wouldn't have been you.
Couldn't have been me. I wouldn't. First of all, like you said in the previous episode, that you will make sure that never happens again. You make sure that you're. But even before that, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going to be. I've just always been like that. I'm not going to be dependent that much on anyone, married or not. I'm not going to be dependent on that on any person, one person that much, where he can be like, get the fuck out, and I ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And then my response is, but we in a relationship. What?
What are you talking about? And then the other part was this ambiguity in terms of being in a relationship. So we got on that part.
Oh.
I said, did you not peep the oldest game in the book that he was doing? You didn't peep that? And the answer was no. So my thing with millennials is that they tend to hardly ever actually be in an actual relationship.
Oh yeah, there is that.
They don't.
The whole situationship.
The whole situationship. However, it appears that at times the girls still want to respond to conflict and situations as if they're in official relationships, but they're not in relationships.
But see, I think that part is normal. To me, it's normal.
Really?
To me, the normal part is responding as though you're in a relationship, because I think that we are socialized, we're conditioned. Little girls are women, female people, I think, are set up that way. We are not, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think that we are set up to just be free willy-nilly with the kitty like that.
I don't believe so.
I think that if we are laying down with somebody, we like them, or we might consider ourselves in love with them, whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
But that entails a whole lot of, expectations and emotions and jealousy and all of that. So So, but I guess for my part, I still don't understand her response was she played herself. She just played herself. I think that she's 26. So it's not like she's like 19.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, you
and
should
he's
know
29.
Better. Okay. So they're not that far apart in age, but he's older and he's old enough to know that any woman worth her salt, unless she's a groupie, right, is not going to be down for you. But she seemed to be down for it.
Well, I was about to say, actually, no, I think that for him in his life, there are enough women that are down for that,
Well, for him in his life right now, I hope that works out for him. I hope that works out for him. Because that's not sustainable. That shit is not sustainable.
No,
Go ahead
definitely
and continue down that road. Go talk to Jay-Z. They try to play Jay-Z like he's an old man now, but
right.
I mean, eventually you're gonna want to settle down. Even the old head. I mean, well, now they're considered old heads, but the people in our era, like the new additions, who else was out? Like Jay-Z, Jay-Z.
Yeah, like Jay-Z
type, they're settling down. You can't live that life forever. So I hope that his little situationship work out for him that way. But you got kids involved now.
But I do feel that on a greater scale, so many young women are trying to play this game.
Yes.
Where they can get down dirty like the fellas, and it's Gucci, everybody cool, and when it comes down to it, you're fucking not.
Yep. In the name of what? In the name of feminism, in the name of equality. Because I'm not buying it.
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I done lived a little, but we not the same.
We're not.
We are not the same.
We're just not. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not the same. I think that men kind of sometimes they get away with stuff by leaning on that old, trope. Oh, well, boys will be boys and men,
right.
We just don't get down. At the same time, I do believe we're not the same.
We're not the same. So, but I do think it's considered taboo to constantly throw your old lady logic in the face of millennials, so I really try not to, but sometimes it's hard to say nothing. And this was one of those situations because it's so crazy. They be saying the craziest shit on earth. It's like, how do you look? Well, he shouldn't. And I asked a question because she put all the responsibility on the man. I said, well, he shouldn't be hanging out with her. Who can hang out with you if you don't let him? Who can hang out with you? We
all have choices here, man.
We have choices.
You think so you think that is a millennial? I don't know. I gotta search on that one.
I'd be happy to be over categorizing them. That'd be
I hope so.
My pleasure to do so. But I do think that there are some specific trends though, in terms of.
Oh yeah. I'd agree with that
generation and dating. Not that our generation is anything to write home about either, because we raised them little niggas.
Yeah, don't get me started on our generation, but yeah.
We are not millennials, so I think it'd be interesting to hear from an actual millennial. So friend of the show, Big Barbie, is back, and she's millennial and she's out here in these streets dating. So let's check out what she has to say about dating today for millennials.
I'm ready. Hey, I want to date.
The dating game, honey, I got some stories.
Well, let's jump right in. We want to talk about dating for millennials.
Okay. Yes, I forgot to tell everybody I am a big girl. I am a sexy BBW.
And
BBW comes with its own nuances of dating.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it. We got questions.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, how would you describe, let's start with just dating for millennials, because I hear so much talk about just everything for millennials, like, work, jobs, careers for millennials, dating for millennials. What is dating like for millennials?
Okay. Let me break it down. And the millennials, if you listen, pay attention, because y'all need to hear this. And for the other generation, it's good to know if you want to be dating millennials. I heard the episode about y'all, some cougars and stuff like that. The cougars need to know what's going on with these millennial men.
Okay.
For all of. Here's the thing about dating right now. Dating sucks. It sucks. And this is why it sucks. Is because there's so much risk involved. Back in the day, it was like you could date. Yeah. It was safer. Nowadays, you got to worry about disease. Not saying you haven't had to always, but now people just raw with it. Everybody's so carefree, especially in the millennial. They like everybody. I have a saying in the town that I live in, everybody's sleeping with everybody.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how millennials are getting down?
Yeah, I'm speaking on the millennials.
Okay.
You know that song by SZA, shout out to SZA, because it was a real song, where she was like, I got the man on Monday through Friday, you have
yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Millennial dating, I'm gonna just keep it real, they like to be in a millennial dating. I know I'm a little nervous to say this, but it's I gotta be fearless with it. I gotta be fearless.
Yes.
All right, come on.
This moment, millennial dating, everybody sometimes sleeps with everybody. Dating is a complete competition. I can take your man. These millennial women, they taking your man as a bag.
Really?
Yes. If I took your man, that is a form of basically saying I'm that bitch. It's a form of, I can take your man. So there's a lot of pride with that. The moral compass is not really there in millennial dating. Now, don't get me wrong. Some millennials want a better, healthier example of relationship that they've seen. I'm not saying all millennials, but right now millennial dating is all about online. You got your POF.com, you got your Black People Meet. Online dating is higher than ever.
Okay.
Let me list it because I know I'm going all over the place. So millennial dating, first thing is the moral compass not. So a lot of times the steal your man is a big deal. Instead of being a lady and say, hey, you know what? I see you got a girl, let me pass on you. Sometimes that's a form of, you got a girl, I'm about to take her man. That makes them feel good about themselves. Yes.
Wow.
Secondly, their millennial dating is online. It is Facebook Messenger. It is video chat. It is meet online. And then the next step is, you want to, can I come over to your house? That's
What?
Yeah.
So
it ain't no dating no more, going to the movies. No, they want can I come over to your house?
So that was going to be my question. Do you go on dates?
You know what? Honestly, you can go on dates, but right now, what's popping is the POF.com, which is plentyoffish.com. It's the guy, like, from in the heterosexual part of it, it's like, okay, well, let's Netflix and chill. The whole date is a different shift. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but it's not the same as in, let's go for some ice cream.
Right.
Let's go to the library. Let's go to a movie. Let's go. The other thing, they want to see body parts. Can I see your what? Private.
Okay.
Can I boob? I need pic. And then you know what the worst part is? If you like to engage in that type of stuff, you'll send them the pic, and then they'll not contact you no more.
What? That's okay. I have so many questions. Many questions. Okay, so you talked about online Black People Meet, and I guess millennials are into like Tinder and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Do you think that don't you think that's a good way to meet somebody though, and not have to deal with the barriers of physical? Like, you get to know them in a different way than you would if you were just meeting them at a club or in the grocery store. Is there any merit to doing that online?
Well, it is some merit in the fact that it's easy. You can be in the couch and have somebody talk to you. It's quick. You can get a lot of hits. It's almost, and to be honest, sometimes it's like an addiction. Even though it may not be good for you, online dating, the end, it's like, okay, that ding, somebody hitting you up, ding, ding. And so there's a few things that merits it. Number one, it can prevent boredom, because there's always somebody that's hitting you up, especially if you're a woman. Oh, and women get more hits than men, by the way, in the online realm of dating for millennials. But it kind of helps with boredom if you get bored. But the other thing is, it does make dating easy in the sense that you don't have to do your hair that day to meet him. You ain't gotta go to church to meet him. Lord, I love you, but you don't have to, but you don't have to do the traditional stuff to meet a man. So that you could be on your couch and be a couch potato, as long as you got some decent pictures up, it's cool.
Yeah. And you can still get that work.
Exactly. And you know what? That's one of the things they say, you can get it. That's one of their favorite lines.
Really?
Seriously?
Yes. If you got your profile up and they interested, they don't even say, sometimes they don't even say, hello, how you doing? They just say, you can get it.
Is that insulting? Is that an insult, or is that something you like?
You know what? It depends on how he says it. Because, oh gosh, there was one that said, and it's all races, colors, and creeds, it doesn't matter. White, black, Indian.
Dang, okay.
Yeah. I've had people say, what you doing, want to have sex? Like,
What?
Oh my.
yes, emotionless. And that's what I don't like. The other thing is, I've had someone say, let me see your boobs, let me see your tits. They want to see stuff, and they expect you to send them stuff over the airwaves. They want to see crotch shot. They want to,
What?
yes. And
Like
honey,
naked crotch
yes,
shot?
yes. They, honey,
That is,
oh my God, yes, they
you can see
do.
it. It's not that impressive, but okay, here you go. No.
Yeah, if you insist. That seems so rude and just so crass. Like,
Are there
So
women who do it though? Women, I mean, I guess it's
somebody got to be doing.
yes, yes, and
that's
but
pretty bold.
it's bold, and you have to be the type to say, if you're not into that, I'm not doing that. I don't like to send stuff like that, and then they'll say, oh, okay, I understand, but it's all about, a lot of times with this online millennial dating, they want to show, you got to show body part. They want to see video.
What?
That's a lot of nerve. Okay, that's
And honey, the video angle ain't right. This will take the cake. If the video angle ain't right, they'll be like, okay, I want it from this angle. And back.
Oh,
So they'll edit it too, make you do it over again.
oh my gosh, I have no words.
Yeah, yeah.
Are these young guys? I mean, okay, so help me understand. Are the millennials, say millennial young women, are
Yeah.
you open to dating, or are there come in contact with? What's the age range? Like, will you go younger? Will you go stay older? I gotta think these are young guys. They gotta be young.
You, you know what? I'm so glad you asked about the ages, because a lot of times in the dating sites, that millennials are on, they give you an age preference. So these are men usually 25 to 38.
Oh
Now,
my.
older. But as far as millennial, the youngest I'll entertain, if they are mentally there on that, maturity level, is 25. But you can go
Okay.
younger than that. I mean, I've had 19-year-olds try to talk to me, and it's all about sex. That's this is what's going on with millennial dating. It is all about sex, showing videos, pictures. The first thing men ask you is, show me your boobs, show me your tits, send me videos. What are you looking for? That's a common question. It's so much with millennial dating. Like, and the other thing about it is that the girls today, especially the younger, I thank God I'm 32 and I got a little wisdom, but the younger women need to be careful. I see a lot of young female bosses though, so I'm loving that part of it. But young women need to be careful, and especially sexually. It's a lot of men who even today don't know, how to protect themselves from diseases. So, and you know what? Another thing about millennial dating, they don't mind doing it raw.
What?
really?
The first night. Yes.
That
Yeah.
sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah, they don't ask. You'd be surprised how many men I've had to say, get a condom. You need to go get a condom. Or men who don't know about sexual health. There was a man, now he wasn't a millennial, but he was 40 something, and he didn't know that you could contract herpes from oral sex.
I don't know how he could know that, but
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
So what I also don't feel that I see as much with millennials, I don't feel like I see you guys in relationships as much.
It's situationships.
Oh my God.
It's
Explain that.
it's having a relationship that's convenient, but most of the time it's convenient for the man. And I feel like millennial women need to start kind of like taking the power back. It's when they want to see you. It's situationships, meaning a romance that's convenient for usually the man. So it's we're not in a relationship. See, this is the thing. This is what they like to do. Okay, yeah, you know I like you and yada yada yada, and I want to meet you and I see you. And the first thing they want to do is have sex with you, but they don't want a commitment. They don't want to date. They don't want to make an investment in you.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you fit a certain stereotype. And even then, or a certain look. And even then, that's still kind of sketchy because there's still no commitment. So it's a situationship, basically a relationship with no commitment.
Are women down for that? Or
Some are. Some are, because some think it's cute, but others are not. So I think it just depends on who she is and what she believes her self-worth is. And so some do, some don't. I mean, I had a friend who completely did not. She said, you too much of a relationship girl. But I value relationships. But there are some women, or some millennials who didn't, I just want mine and go. Like, give me sex and get out. Like, I don't want to be with you. Like, I got my own. What can you do for me? Well, I don't want you to get hers every day. So it just depends on what the girl is looking for. But I mean, I believe most, like all, even millennials, want to have that, manifestation of a dream relationship. I mean, we all want love, but dudes are so crafty with how they get away with their stuff. I mean, side chick culture ain't nothing nowadays. Not to that where it used to be like, oh my God, you cheating on your wife?
Yeah.
No, it's like, okay, I got 2 bitches and
that's fascinating.
3,
Now
4.
I have one more question. I have a question. Now, are millennials more prone to go both ways? It seems like it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Based off experience, what I've heard, what I've seen. Yes, I think so. And I think, well, this is a whole nother topic, but I think I think even some of the guys are. I know it's controversial, but we tell the truth on Yummy and Fearless. Okay.
That's
Come
right.
on, right?
And the truth is that some of the young, threesomes that's not a big deal for a lot of millennials, especially the young ones, because they're experimenting, they're young, they don't really, their values haven't set into that degree yet, unless they really know who they are. So yeah.
Wow.
Not a big thing. Wow, this is fascinating.
It is. It's fascinating and it's
scary.
It's scary. It's kind of disappointing because I don't think, especially for women, I don't think they're getting what they actually really want.
Exactly. The guys are. And that's set up. And so when they meet a woman such as myself who has a little bit of a different opinion, I'm a bitch. I'm a problem in their eyes. Oh, you're crazy. I'm crazy because I'm asking you to do normal shit. That's why I'm crazy. But they don't understand that. So that's what you deal with. It's crazy. It's crazy. You deal with the controlling man. A lot of men right now, especially when it comes to millennial dating, control is very important. Very important for them. Makes them feel like a man.
It's disappointing because you always, or at least I just always thought, like, the generations that came after my generation, I just thought they were better. I never thought they could be in a worse position than we were dating. Because I thought our situation wasn't all that great. But like,
it's different. These men are ruthless today.
But they don't perceive it as such. They don't perceive being in a worse unless they have sense, like Big Barbie.
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, they're ruthless. And here's the thing that I've learned recently. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and honest with the young millennials listening. They don't show no love. It's nowadays for millennial dating, it's fake love. It's a lot of unsincere type love in millennial dating. So it can be a guy who will spend his time with you, even buy you a few things, but he don't love you. He don't love you. So the key to millennial women or men who are wanting that true relationship is to find someone that's really sincere and that's on the same page with you, mentally, emotionally, physically, and where y'all see life. And let their actions prove that. But you can have the full swamp sometimes. They'll take you out, but it's all for the sex. And then they do it and the next girl. Yeah.
So you listened to our last episode, which is Love is a Bitch and a Whore.
Yeah, fascinating. Listen to it, y'all.
Yes. And you
Amen.
You sent me a text. We didn't get to talk about it, but you sent me a text about a part where Dark Phoenix and I were discussing what love is and isn't. So what's your millennial take on, I guess it was more so my definition of it, more so than Dark Phoenix definition. But what is your millennial take on love?
Love is real. Love is G. Love is on some G shit. And the thing about it is that it's just something that's undeniable. It's right for you. It's being there for you. But it has to be reciprocated. And the thing is that in millennial culture, women are expected of that, but men are not giving that. And that's the issue. So we live in a world where women are supposed to be G. I'm supposed to love you, hold you down, but you don't do anything that you're supposed to do to reciprocate or even pull that out of me for you. And that's what millennial men need to understand and start. Wow. And I found the episode where you talked about love and how you said something that was amazing. Well, first and foremost, when Dark Phoenix said, that's that type of love where you can go up to his job and let him know. That's how you know you in love. Yeah, I heard it. And I was like, yeah, that's that.
Right?
Because if I come up to your job and I'm letting bitches know, or whatever the case may be, this is my man. That's the type of love.
That's love.
You really in love with that? Yeah. Like, okay, she been
right.
she been. But
come on, talk about it.
Okay, but your standpoint, Yummy, I appreciate it too, because you were saying how love is not dying for you, is living for you. Now that was it, right? That was deep, because so often men say they love you, but then their actions don't. They're not living in that action,
right?
You know, and so. Love is something, it's a demonstration, like you said on the last show. It is a demonstration. And it's the same thing even in millennial culture, but it's rooting out the snakes and the fakes and getting to that sincere person. That's right. And that takes wisdom, that takes growth, that takes a lot of mishaps. But I want millennials to start using condoms out here, dental dams. If you're gonna do oral sex, they need to tighten up on that, because it's too much going around. And that's
Fact. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today, we love you and thank you so much for listening.